It all started from the national championship game, and I've been dealing with this for 2 years now. And understanding, like, yeah, negative things have probably been said about me, but honestly, I'll take that because look where women's basketball is. People are talking about women's basketball, but you never would think that we'd be talking about women's basketball. People are pulling up to games. We got celebrities coming to games, sold out arenas, like, just because of one single game. And just looking at that, like, I'll take that role. I'll take the bad guy role, and I'll continue to take that on and be that for my teammates. And if I want to be that, and I know I'll go down in history, I'll look back in 20 years and be like, yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me, too, and I want y'all to realize that.
Nah, just call it for what it is. There's one white bitch for the Indiana team who is a superstar. And is it because she stayed in Iowa, put an entire state on her back, took a program from nothing to a multiple-year success story? Is it because she would go on to break the entire points records in the history of the NCAA? Not just the women's record by Kelsey Plum, shout out, but also Pistol Pete Maravich's, the dude's record as well. Is there a chance that people just enjoy watching her play basketball because how electrifying she is, what she did, what she stood for, how she went about going, what she went for? Maybe. But instead, we have to hear people say that we only like her because she's white. And she's the only popular because the rest of the rookie class is doing what they're doing. Well, that's a bunch of bullshit. And we think the WNBA, more specifically, their refs need to stop trying to screw her over at every single turn. What you have is somebody special. And we're lucky she's here in India.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Once again, we got to talk about the WNBA. Who is getting a whole lot of attention, and you would think that these women would be grateful for the attention that they're getting, but it seems like they're not. They're going out of their way to show that they're hell-bent on making people hate the WNBA to the point where nobody wants to watch it, okay? I mean, the way that they're really trying to do it is they're trying to bully Caitlin Clark, the literal MVP of the league. They're trying to bully her out of the game because they, in my opinion, are jealous that she is bringing so much attention, so much money to the league. But according to them, that's not the case, right?
This is not hate. This is hoops, like any other sport that is professional at the highest level. And I hope people truly get to understand.
And I'm looking at guys like Charles Barkley, LeBron James, Stephen A., Shannon Sharp, right? Why do I point out those four guys? You have to be careful about the words that you put out there. The word hating, the word jealous, those are words, those are triggering words for women, right? Like in anything. I've been married to one, okay? I've been married to a woman for going on 15 years. And those two words, hating, especially when you're talking about referring to another woman or other women, those are triggering words. So you have to do a better job with that. They have to do a better job with that because it's not hating and it's not jealousy, it's competition. Pat McAfee, I think he owes everyone an apology, especially Caitlin Clark. You cannot call her out of her name like that. You can't. No one could come to his defense, and it's unacceptable. At the end of the day, you have to respect the WNBA.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that, okay? So according to some of the white knighters and the WNBA women and some of the analysts on sports media, the women that played in the WNBA, it's not jealousy, it's not hate, okay? It's just ball, okay? Cheap shotting somebody on the court, it's not jealousy and hate, it's just ball, right? This is the argument that these people are making, right? This is what they're saying. So that being said, what you guys saw at the beginning of this video, again, is Angel Reese coming out and basically making a statement that makes me think that she is jealous because in response to a question from the media, she basically tried to say that, well, the league is not popular only because of Caitlin Clark, but also because of me and what I have contributed to this rivalry. I think that is probably the most benign way of interpreting what she's saying, because I guess you could say that, well, because of our rivalry in college, that helped Caitlin Clark get popular, and me being the villain was a part of that, and I'm going to embrace that role, okay, as the villain. Now, again, that's the most benign way of looking at it. However, you can look at it in a different way and say that, well, she's low-key taking a shot at Caitlin Clark and saying that, well, it's not just her. She's not the reason why the league is popular. It's also because of me and maybe even some other players. But I just don't think that what she's saying is actually the reality of the situation because the numbers don't lie, okay? The attendance for the WNBA, when you look at non-Caitlin Clark games versus the attendance for Caitlin Clark games, it's just not comparable, okay? As you guys can see here, the attendance for Caitlin Clark games this weekend were about 17,000. And then you look at some of the other non-Caitlin Clark games, just one of them cracked 10,000 in attendance. Okay, if you look at the attendance for the 2023 season for the Chicago Sky, which is the team that Angel Reese plays for, they average 7,241 fans per game. And this year, they're averaging 8,247, which only is about, 10 to 20% increase, right, at most. But if you look here at the Indiana Fever, though, they're averaging 16,000 fans, almost 17,000 fans. And last year, they were averaging 4,000 fans. So, again, if you look at the numbers quickly show that, hey, there is no real facts to back up that statement that, well, the WNBA is getting more popular because of players like her. I personally think that if Caitlin Clark wasn't in the league, the WNBA would be as irrelevant as they were last year. But again, when you are hating, okay, hate and jealousy clouds your judgment, right? Facts don't matter, okay, when you are emotional, right? And I guess that's what led to her teammate, Trinity Carter, taking that cheap shot against Caitlin Clark, and then Angel Reese deciding to celebrate a cheap shot. And then after the game, when she knew she'd be asked about it, she decided not to show up to the interview, right? Again, I'm just saying, these women are making themselves very, very, very easy to dislike, okay? And they just continue to dig themselves in a deeper and deeper and deeper hole. And I'm not entirely sure why they don't realize it. I'm not entirely sure why their agents aren't in their ears saying, listen, guys, you are going to cost yourself money if you continue to go down this path that you're going on, taking these shots at Caitlin Clark. And again, I don't mind the trash talk. I don't mind the back and forth. But when you gaslight us, really, and tell us that you're not jealous, that you're not hating, but every chance you get, you're showing on the court and off the court that you are jealous and that you are hating. And then you have people like Sonny Holston, who claims to be on the board for the WNBA, coming out and confirming that, there is some jealousy and hate because Caitlin Clark is white and pretty and straight. Again, you are getting to the point now where it's like, okay, well, hey, a lot of people may just stop watching WNBA, especially considering how they are telling people who just started watching WNBA because of Caitlin Clark, you can't comment on the WNBA. You can't have an opinion. Well, if I can't have an opinion, then why the hell should I watch, right? I just shouldn't watch. I'm not going to support any of y'all, okay? If I can't have an opinion, it's so funny to me, okay? But anyways, with that being said, sparks are flying in sports media. There was this pretty fascinating debate on First Take between Monica McNutt and Stephen A. Smith. And Stephen A. Smith is going to get pissed off when Monica McNutt basically tries to go after Stephen A. Smith for commenting on the WNBA now, but he didn't really care about the WNBA a few years ago.
We're talking about them maximizing their great potential. And because we bring that up and talk about what potentially might get in their way, which we do to men all the time, now we got to sit up here and watch every syllable. I resent that, and I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they're doing. They're basically telling men, you can't comment on this. AKA, you can't have an opinion that we don't like, which, again, is another stupid thing because if I can't comment on it, if I can't have an opinion on it, then why should I watch it? Why should I watch it? Okay, I think I was listening to Mike Greenberg. I think that's his name. And he was talking about how, well, over the weekend, I saw all these people commenting on the WNBA who don't know anything about the WNBA, okay, who don't comment on sports. And I'm like, well, you sports analysts are always trying to comment on politics. You guys are always trying to comment on social issues, a bunch of things outside of sports. And as soon as somebody from outside of sports tries to comment on sports, the WNBA, all of a sudden, oh, you need to stay in your lane, right? But that doesn't apply when you got all these people like Colin Cowherd, Shannon Sharp, Stephen A. Smith. They're all trying to get into politics when their background is sports. Again, it's amazing how that works.
So let me, I know we got to go to break. Welcome to the world of being a woman, Stephen A., and how you have to dance about your word choice and you have to please everybody and anybody as you navigate your being. We are talking about the world's greatest
How about being a black man?
Being black. Hold on 1 second.
Have you?
So this is what I'm saying to y'all, though, and I know we got to go to break.
Wow, listen to this victimhood war. who's the biggest victim? Is it women or blacks? Right? Well, I mean, she's going to win that because she appears to be black and she's a woman, right? So she has 2 infinity stones of wokeness. You're not going to out victimhood the black woman, okay? That's not even a good point for Shannon Sharpe and Stephen A to bring up. But again, I think they're frustrated because, again, she's just not understanding what they're saying, which is that, hey, it was wrong. And we're trying to tell you guys what's the best thing for the league, right? The best thing for the league is not to unnecessarily hurt Caitlin Clark because it's going to damage the careers and the money earning potential for all the women in the league. But again, these women, they don't want to listen, right? They don't want to listen. They want to go out of their way to mental gymnastics their way through trying to justify what happened, okay? This is what they're trying to do. You can lead a horse to the water, but you can't make them drink it. That's essentially what's happening here.
And we didn't necessarily go there. Maybe we should. There are so many layers in this conversation around the way that it's being discussed. When you right, no. And yes, Shannon, I know y'all are gonna say and Stephen A, I know you just shared that you have talked about the WNBA on your program too. You guys may not have said everybody, but the prevailing sentiment for folks that are just joining the WNBA and following women's sports is unfair to the women of this league, to your point, who have laid the groundwork for Caitlin Clark to come in and now take it to the next level. That's all I'm saying in these conversations. Kennedy Carter's behavior is not indicative of the entire league. We are still talking about competition where you are allowed to get a little extra elbow in if you are competing and you do it within the parameters of the game. The game is physical. Caitlin is helping to grow the league. These women understand that, but she cannot be babied as a rookie. That's all I'm at.
Look, here's the thing. Nobody's saying that. Literally, nobody's saying that. They keep trying to redirect the conversation to talk about something that nobody's talking about. Nobody's talking about Caitlin Clark taking a hard foul in the course of play, right? Like while actually playing basketball. What they're talking about is a cheap shot. That's what people are talking about. But again, they want to direct the conversation away from that because they believe that people are trying to say, oh, well, you can't touch Caitlin Clark at all. You must let her score. And that's not what people are saying. But again, they don't want to really address the fact that that cheap shot was probably motivated by jealousy and hate. Okay, I definitely think that if it wasn't Caitlin Clark, that cheap shot doesn't happen, at least not the way that it happened, because again, a lot of these people, they're trying to say, well, Caitlin Clark is a trash talker, as if trash talk justifies a cheap shot. It doesn't at all.
All right.
Who talks about the WNBA? Who talks about women? Who talk about women's sports more than First Take?
Stephen A, respectfully, with your platform, you could have been doing this 3 years ago if you wanted to.
Wow.
All right, we got to go. You guys.
So did you say
you're my guy, but
who does more than
Stephen
us?
A, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you.
Wow.
Don't do that. I'm talking to you about the power that you have.
Okay.
I'm talking to you.
Okay.
All right, let's.
You're my guy, but I'm talking to you.
I got it.
Guys, I really appreciate.
You're my girl, but you've missed a lot of episodes of First Take. You missed a lot.
Stephen A,
Guys,
3 years ago, you would not talk about the W at this level. Don't do that.
Guys.
Nobody was, Monica.
Guys,
you making Stephen A's point, Monica. You making Stephen A's point.
Do my job. Please let me do my job. We've gone for 40 minutes straight. It was a riveting discussion. I have to get into commercial.
Yeah, Stephen A got hurt by that, boy. But this conversation doesn't stop on First Take. Stephen A went to his own platform to discuss this situation, and he admits that, the WNBA is only as popular as it is today because of Caitlin Clark. And also he makes the point that, it's because of men giving you women opportunities, right? That is the reason for the WNBA being popular as well, too.
You ever heard of Monica McNutt? You have now, because she's on First Take a lot. Shanae Ogumake, absolutely wonderful, spectacular basketball analyst, et cetera, WNBA player in her own right. Ask her how it's been to be on First Take. How about Andrea Carter, who's a rising star in this business? How much do you think First Take helped that? What about Kimberly Martin? What about Molly Kiram herself? Now, I have sat back for years and taken a lot of shit from people. Some who don't know what the hell they're talking about. Some who act like they don't know just because they want to get at me. I could care less about people getting at me. I just want you to be accurate. And it is highly offensive to me when somebody implies or flat out states, like Monica McNutt did this morning, which was factually incorrect. I challenge anybody to find a show in sports television that discusses women issues, that discusses the WNBA or women's sports, that highlights and profiles female analysts more than First Take. Some of the players, you want to use the word jealousy, fine. You want to use the word envy, fine. You want to use the word resentment. We want to play with words. That's cool. It's something. And I think that some of the ladies, not all, but some of the ladies in the WNBA are missing the point. And the point is, this girl right here is a box office attraction. And because of her box office attraction, it's generating more eyeballs to the WNBA product, therefore more revenue for the WNBA product. Don't you think y'all are going to benefit from that too? Look at the big picture. That's what I was talking about when I was talking about it this morning on my day job, First Take on ESPN, every weekday morning from 10 a.m. to 12 noon Eastern Standard Time. A rising tide raises all boats.
Yeah, they don't understand that, Stephen A., and they don't want to understand it, right? Because they don't want to accept the reality, which is that, hey, your league is being kept afloat by one player and one player only. It's not Angel Reese. It's not all these other people. It's not Angel Wilson. It's not any of these people they want to talk about. And that is the reality. And I'm not even going to say it's an unfortunate reality. It's a fortunate reality because, honestly, they should be grateful. They should be thankful, and they should be taking advantage of the fact that, hey, more eyes on the league. We're going to get more people watching. And then maybe these other stars who have been underserved, according to them, I don't think they have been underserved. I think that people don't watch them because, again, the level of play is just not that good. So it is what it is, okay? I think that this is how the market works, and you got to respect how the market works. Again, except when it comes to women, though, right? They need subsidies. They got to be supported by men. But then they'll turn around and trash men for commenting on a sport that men are subsidizing, right? Which is the case with the WNBA, right? They want to say, oh, well, you haven't been watching the WNBA for years. You can't comment, okay? You guys only want to talk about Caitlin Clark. Well, the reason why is because she brings in the ratings. It is what it is. But again, Stephen A's point, yeah, a rising tide does lift all boats, but these women seem to be hell-bent on trying to not make that happen, right? They don't want it to happen. And I think is at the point now where some people just don't believe that fire burns. At some point, you can show people better than you can tell them. So is at the point now where I'm like, well, hey, just let them keep doing what they're doing, right? Let them keep bullying Caitlin Clark. And when Caitlin Clark gets injured, okay, which will probably happen as a result of the cheap shots if they keep doing it. I doubt they're going to keep doing it the way they're doing it, based off this backlash. But regardless, just let them have it their way. If that's what they want to do, let them do it. But if it just so happens that Caitlin Clark gets injured, Lord forbid that happens, and people stop watching WNBA, all of a sudden these women are taking commercial flights, sitting in the economy at the back of the plane with all us normal people. I don't want to hear no boohoo whining and crying. I don't want to hear no complaining. I don't want to hear nothing. Because remember, you guys told us, you said it's not just her, it's everybody else, right? It's all these other women. They're the reason why the WNBA is so popular. It's not just her, okay? So again, they want to test this theory out. If they want to test it out, I say, hey, let's test it out, right? Since you guys are the ones that are so great, okay? I also say, look, I think that the NBA should stop subsidizing the WNBA. Since you can do it on your own and you don't want men commenting on the sport and people that didn't watch the WNBA before, I say we just let the WNBA sink or swim. Remove all the subsidies that the WNBA gets from the NBA. And if, Lord forbid, Caitlin Clark gets hurt, okay, again, let's see what happens. Let's put the theory to the test if that's what they want to do, because they don't want to listen. They don't want to listen to people telling them, look, y'all might want to chill out on Caitlin Clark. You might not want to get in a position where she gets unnecessarily hurt and people boycott the WNBA and you lose all the progress that you made. No. They think that they can do it on their own and they don't need all these people that just started watching the WNBA because of Caitlin Clark. If that's the way they feel, hey, I say we put the theory to the test, right? Put the theory to the test, because there's just some people, you can't tell them anything, okay? You can't tell anything. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.